Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to Pyanodons. What does my to-do list say? Liquid fuels were running out again. Antimony brains. Okay. Those all sound like reasonably important things to be working on. I'm trying to remember what we did last week. We didn't have a Thursday episode last week, so it's been a week since I've even opened the game because of the Thanksgiving holiday. I know we did some stuff with Vrox, getting them updated to use the latest tech and Vrock Food 2. So that should hopefully be catching up on Vrock demand. They're used, obviously, in bees here, as well as for formic. And we were having issues running out of formic acid. So I'm hoping that with all of our new Vrocks, we're making plenty of formic acid again. And it does look like we are. We're keeping up on Vrock slaughter. Yeah, these are all just starting to turn on. But it does look like we just got a load of Vrocks here, and I saw up at the actual Vrock build that, like, we're getting ahead of demand again, which is fantastic. So, I mean, I think that means the big thing for us is figuring out liquid fuels, because liquid fuels are a problem. Let me find the glass build, just because I know I have fuel requesters here. And yeah, this is showing no inputs, which means all of our liquid fuels are currently completely gone, which is less than ideal. So what I think I want to figure out is maybe possibly more crude oil processing rather than more tar processing. Because I think ultimately we want more olefins, right? This is a important intermediate for lots of things, including this lubricant recipe. Well, once we get more oleochemicals, which is a different issue. But it seems like if we're going through oil processing, there should be lots of ways for us to be getting to olefins, and from there to whatever else we need. So I think we're just going to pop right over to YAFC and start... my YAFC is not up. Did YAFC crash? Or did I just close it because I am an idiot and I forgot what I was doing? Tool capture. There it is. Okay. So that is... what am I looking for? Crude oil. So this is our current crude oil processing chain, which is 90 whole oil a second. We could definitely scale this up. Interestingly, I don't see olefins coming out of this. We do have a bunch of naphtha, which I'm not sure what we're doing to get rid of naphtha. And of course, BTX goes to benzene in our base. Oh, this uses a bunch of gasoline in its processing. Okay. That's sketchy. And that might be part of our problem, is we're pulling out, like, the petroleum gas from this, and that's leading to pulling out a lot more gasoline. So I think we need to look at the products that are coming out of this build and figure out how do we get more gasoline. You know, we can... Ooh, didn't like that. I was going to say we can naphtha to syngas, but that made it very unhappy. Why did that make us unhappy? Probably something to do with the steam. Oh, is our steam currently at balanced? Well, there's a problem. No. We have steam from... Oh. This has oil burners. Did I really do that? Probably at the time it made sense because I was so power limited. I was like, oh, we're going to have gasoline over here anyway, so we may as well burn it. That's probably where all my gasoline is going. Okay. So this needs to not be a thing. I think at this point, liquid fuel is now more valuable than gasoline. Or, sorry, more valuable than electricity. And that's a huge part of our gasoline usage. So if we get rid of that, and I'm just going to say electric boilers for now. Yeah, now we're only bringing in like 8 gasoline a second. And then if we're converting the naphtha to syngas, and then the syngas to whatever, I see a weird way to get gasoline from syngas. Wasn't that a thing? Maybe I'm losing my mind. Light oil to no. None of that. Okay. This may or may not be the route we want to go then. Condensed distillates, high distillates, low distillates. What does it take to get to... Okay, so medium distillates. We're currently just converting to high distillates. If we go through stripped distillates instead, which does need titanium tetrachloride that I don't think we're currently making. But these can be converted to olefins or to gasoline. Okay. But does that make... Well, for one thing, this is the only building that uses heat, is this conversion of medium distillates to high distillates. So if we stop doing that, we can also get rid of the heat generating here. Great. And then if we do stripped distillates instead... Again, we are going to need to get titanium tetrachloride going, but that doesn't look terrible. So I think we can set up a titanium tetrachloride build relatively straightforwardly. And then we're going to go from stripped distillates to, I don't know, whatever we think is the best fuel value. Which is probably to gasoline. We are also going to need cumene, though. But for now, we can go to gasoline. So instead of netting us negative gasoline, this is now positive by like 50 gasoline a second. I don't know what the other changes were, though. Let's go back to where this was. So where this was steam from an oil burner burning gasoline, medium distillates going to high distillates, and heat from coke. Right? Okay. I want to duplicate this page. We're going to make our changes, and then we can actually compare them. Because right now I have no idea what I'm looking at. So if we do stripped distillates all the way up to gasoline... Okay, this is still gasoline positive, even if we keep our oil burners, which is delightful. It uses the same amount of tin chromium alloy. It now brings in a little bit of titanium tetrachloride. We make a little bit less naphtha. We make about that difference in gasoline. And we make like half of the petroleum gas. And no more ash, which is great. I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. So if we're going to refactor this, we're taking what is currently 3 multi-purpose crackers, and we're going to change that to 2 sets of 2 light oil refineries. So I need 4 light oil refineries, and that's basically it, is 4 light oil refineries. Oh, and we have to set up titanium tetrachloride, because we don't actually have that. So let's do that as well. All right, there we go. 6 high-pressure furnaces, turning a belt of coal dust, a bunch of titanium, and chlorine into the thing we care about. This is overkill. You know what? Actually, let's do this at half. Let's do this at 3, because then the coal dust and the titanium can both be on one belt, and we don't have 2 belts of stuff. All right, so we're going to need 4 light oil refineries, 3 high-pressure furnaces. Get up to where the bots can bring me my stuff, and we will go get these done. Thank you, bots. Where do we want to do the titanium tetrachloride? That's the question. But let's go refactor the oil processing first, and then we'll get the titanium tetrachloride build done, because that's a very small build. So, things that need to happen. This goes away. Wait, does that go away? Yes. Low distillates to BTX? This does not match what I thought we were doing. All right, so this part is the high distillates from medium distillates. I get that. This is doing low distillates to BTX, which is not in my list. My list shows us doing low distillates to heavy oil in a compressor. Which we also have. Oh, we overflow it. Okay. That's what I did. I added this as like a secondary processing because we were overflowing on heavy oil, I guess. Or overflowing on residual mixture to here to coke oven gas, which is totally backed up. Okay. High priority. Coke oven gas at 500C. Yeah, I mean, we are fully backed up on coke oven gas. Okay. I mean, this is certainly an option. Just turn it into syngas. Or into soot. Bricks. Molten salt at 1,000. Or there's the various outlet gas chains, which I don't know if I necessarily trust. Mostly because I don't understand them. Alright, but that, I think, is what we need to do, is we need to find a sink for coke oven gas, rather than doing this. Because I want to pull all of the heat out of this. And I think we only did this because it was, like, convenient. Alright, this is entirely the output from here. That's fine. Yeah, all of this can go. That's high distillates. This is how we were bringing out the medium distillates, was this pipe. Okay. And what did I say we're doing with the medium distillates? Medium distillates to stripped distillates, then stripped distillates to gasoline. That's 1-to-1 on these light oil refineries. So that'll come up here. That's actually this belt. And then these are 1-to-1. So we can just hop them across to each other. There's no need for anything fancy there. This belt is going to need to become two-sided and get the titanium tetrachloride on it. Like something like that. And then these are all small quantities of our input items. That's fine. What is all this blocked on right now? It's blocked on residual mixture. Okay, and residual mixture does just spit out currently coke oven gas. So we need to add a coke oven gas sink to the rest of the base somewhere. And honestly, that may be the only thing that was actually wrong with all of our liquid fuels, but I'm fine readjusting this to make better use of the medium distillates. And then gasoline needs to be figured out, because right now we have gasoline coming here. I think we want this to just not request it anymore. And then eventually we will get rid of this tank, but we have to wait for it to empty. But I need to figure out how I'm routing it all such that all of this should be... This is a top-up into this system. Don't think we want that anymore. I think we want all of this to be connected here. Because these are some parts inputs and some parts outputs. This is now also output. So the whole system generates its own gasoline. We have a buffer on this whole thing. So I think what we do now is, well, for one thing, what is all of this belt? This belt is... This is coke getting recycled around. Okay, we don't need that anymore. And then this is going to be an ash output. And I believe, if I'm right, what we're going to do... I don't know how I got a bunch of coke into the ash output. Don't really care. This is no longer going to be an ash output. We're going to take this. Instead, this is going to be a fluid output. And I'm going to have to set it up to also be a fuel output. Fuel provider. For gasoline. And we will do an overflow from down here so that when this system goes above 80%, it'll... Where's my overflow valve? Configurable valve. That is set to overflow. All right. Oh, whoops. Nope, we keep going. I keep thinking I'm at the end. Now we're at the end. No, we're not. Jeez, how many outputs are on this thing? This is it. Finally. All right. And then we have a pump here. All right. So that'll take anything that overflows from the rest of this system. And right now I just have it. We're basically dumping this gasoline from the system out to the output of this whole build right now, and that's fine. Alright, so we need to make the titanium tetrachloride, and this needs to be requesting that. And then we also need to figure out what the heck is up with coke oven gas, because this is all a problem right now. Okay, so if we're gonna make a sink for outlet gas, I mean, our option is basically this syngas route right now, or soot, or outlet gas, which takes a bunch of other stuff, and I haven't really thought about the outlet gas processing chain, so I think this is the one. I think this is what we want to do. So let's YAFC that. And, well, okay, this only makes like 10 a second. I don't think we make all that much coke oven gas. So, probably this is a fine amount. because I imagine this is already overkill. All right, so 2 quenching towers, and we can get a coke oven gas void set up. But what I do want to do, if we're going to do that, is make sure that our coke oven gas is set up to be voidable, and it's not. So let's grab... That is that, and we're probably going to have some other... At least one other that's making it. Oh, but these other ones do... Oh, I already have a void. This just wasn't set up to use it. Uh-huh, okay. Well, never mind then. Cool. So that should unblock this. What am I voiding it to, by the way? Which recipe did I choose? Oh, yeah, we're just turning it to syngas and flue gas. Look at that. This is exactly what I was about to set up. Man, past me was on top of shit. Love to see it. Okay. So if that is fine...
Space!
Jay Drifter, thank you so much for the 5 months with Prime. Oh my goodness. Thanks for hanging around. Thank you for supporting me. Where was I? Right, titanium tetrachloride. I've already got the stuff to make that. Yes. Oh, I got a bunch of coke. Let's find the coke output of this whole thing and drop this off. Oh, and we got a tech done, didn't we? Yeah, Nextlet processing. Okay. That can be one of our next things to fix then. Alright, so titanium tetrachloride is 2 input stations and an output. There's no byproducts. There's nothing special about it. Don't really want to do it here, because this has all been plants. Do I have a clean spot kind of anywhere else I've been doing? No, not really. Yeah, I guess we'll just end up doing it down here somewhere then, because this is where everything new has been being built, so... Yeah, we've got 3 slots right next to Chem Science. So I think we can sneak it right in there. And then once we get the titanium tetrachloride running... Alright, we don't need this. I don't know if this is enough to fix our, like, whole liquid fuel situation, but it'll certainly help. Honestly, we might just want to scale up oil processing completely. Like, I don't think it would be that hard for us to find a new bitumen seep, and, well, maybe it would be. Maybe they're all in terrible places. But, like, if we can, just get a little more crude oil going, that would be an easy win. Alright, coke oven gas is no longer blocked. The residual mixture is still kind of catching up. But yeah, this is going to back up now on the medium distillates until we get titanium tetrachloride. So we need to get that going. Alright, so that brings in chlorine. And then input here is titanium plate. And coal dust. And then all of that comes out. And that feeds our 3 high-pressure furnaces. All right. 1, 2, 3. I think that's enough inserter capacity, especially with the hand size of 2. If not, we'll figure it out. And then again, with the hand size of 2, we can just use ray inserters and out. That should be it. 2 trains with a stop, so we should already have titanium and coal dust on the way. I mean, I could probably do this because it goes through so much more coal dust. Chlorine is en route as well? Yes. Cool. That will be titanium tetrachloride very shortly. Alright, I'm just going to wait for this coal dust to come by and make sure that this all turns on right. Getting Nexalit processing upgraded will also save us some amount of liquid fuels that we've currently been spending on gas furnaces here. And then, yeah, all of this is stopped on medium distillates until we get titanium tetrachloride done. And it looks like it's running. This one is not quite running full time. And I'm not quite sure why, because we should be pulling exactly 7.5 per second. Do I need just like one faster inserter here? Are we not quite running a... Oh yeah, 3 of these isn't quite half a belt. Alright. The doubled hand size doesn't quite get them to half of a belt from just 3 yellows. I thought it would get us there. So that explains that. Okay, this is running fine then. It'll take a little while before we get a delivery, but that's fine. So next, while we're looking at things that take liquid fuels, I think we should redo Nexalit processing. We should just get that upgraded to the next tier, because that should reduce some of our fuel demand, because we won't be using furnaces anymore directly. So that's in here. Nexalit plate. And, clean the Nexalit. Nexalit grade 1. To grade 3. Rejects go back to grade 1. Alright. Fine Nexalit powder. To molten Nexalit, which we should make sure we put on rails. 2 Nexalit plates. So where do we hit more than one belt? We end up with more than one belt of the Nexalit grade 3. Yes. Oof, and a lot that comes out of these automated screeners. 32 and a half. That's more than 2 belts. So that's going to be fun. Wait, 100 sand a second? Oh, that's an input. Oh. Oh. Oh, but we have sand extractors now. I mean, we'll request this from the... I mean, no, we won't. We're not running this at this scale. 100 sand a second input. This is ridiculous. Is this the scale that we go for instead? That's only 2 belts of sand. That's a lot of sand. Jeez. I mean, this at least keeps all of our belts down to, like, reasonable quantities, except the sand. The sand is still bananas. Yeah, 100 sand a second we have to bring in. Whew. That would be a lot of soil extractors. I mean, obviously we can, make a little bit of our sand on site. Also, 20 megawatts of heat is not insignificant, is it? That's too... Yeah, I feel like this is the game telling me that this is too big. I mean, we could have it. Having it gets us down to only 1 coal power plant Mark 1. Although, we're also only at 1 coal power plant Mark 2. So, you know. Maybe 2 power plants is a reasonable amount. I don't know. I'm tempted to do 1/3 scale, or a little bit more. God, nothing ratios right here, though. Alright, that's only 4 belts of sand. None of our intermediates are going over a belt anymore, which is excellent to see. Ooh, boy. It's still a big build. 36 scrubbers. And yeah, 4 belts of sand. Like, this is more sand than we can comfortably bring in on rails, right? So, like, yeah, we can do it with sand extractors. Have a whole casting unit dedicated just to, just to the sticks that this thing needs. Oh. I don't like this. None of the other sand options are really good, though. Nexoid sand is going to be a problem for the rest of the game. Good to know. Yep. I mean, this might be what we need to do. Is just also bring in iron so we can do because like we're already gonna have borax, we're already gonna have hot air. We do need to bring in the advanced castings in that case, which I don't think we're making yet. So that might be a detour. But other than that, and again, obviously, we're actually going to be doing, like, a little bit less. And if we do crush our stone on site, a little bit less again. Yeah, that gets us down to 27 sand extractors. Woohoo. But it's basically 30 sand extractors, right? Which I don't think we're making on them all yet, so maybe we should go get those started. And, I guess before we upgrade Nexolit, if we're going to have to make iron sticks on site from molten iron, and I do think that's the best way to go, well, I guess we could do a big central iron stick build. Iron sticks stack pretty high. Like, now that we have casting, that might be a build that makes sense, that didn't make sense before. Well, we don't quite have casting yet, but soon TM. Oh, I might not have the sand extractor yet. Uh-oh. No, that's under excavation. Alright. Cool. So maybe we're not doing Nexolit yet if we don't have sand. Well, alright. Stream's been going for an hour. Twitch wants to run an ad. I'm gonna step away and get some more water while the ad break runs. I recommend everyone else do the same. Hydrate, stretch your legs, take care of yourselves as human beings, and when we come back, we will reevaluate our life choices. Maybe we're not doing this Nextlit upgrade just yet. But I'll see everyone in just a few minutes. Welcome back, folks. I appreciate everyone hanging around through the break. Alright, so Nextlit might not be what we're jumping at right now, just because I think we do want to wait until we get excavation and we have the better sand steps. So I think right now, I like that we could turn sulfur and water into less water. That's a void if ever I saw one. I don't know why I would want to void sulfur. I still don't have enough sulfuric acid. I'm sure at some point that will become a thing, but I noticed during the break this build that makes olefins is backed up. And obviously this is one of our sources of gasoline and of aromatics for other purposes. So I wonder if I just need to start pulling... I mean, let's... Looking at our olefins production, we have 3 builds. We've got this, which is from fluorine. Okay, this is our fluorine void. We have this one, which doesn't currently overflow because this build is considered to be primarily an olefins build. And then we have the third one here, and this is, yeah, residual gas. Ooh, which is also backing up. And that's going to start breaking our cadaveric arums. If it hasn't already. Yeah. Okay, so we gotta fix... We have more olefins than we know what to do with. I didn't think that was possible. But I guess we did move lubricant away from olefins. Was it lubricant that we had? Yeah, we were using this recipe for a little while, and I stopped because oleochemicals was a problem for us, and is still a problem for us. Fuel production stage 2 gives us an olefins to diesel recipe. Or olefins to aromatics. Olefins plus CO2 to petroleum gas and light oil. And then I could probably combine that with this one, right? And I'm sure YAFC can figure out the right way to balance those recipes to be turning olefins into gasoline and petroleum gas. That's not a bad combo. I wanted desulfurization for this recipe, this aromatics to lubricant recipe. But I do still want that. But oh, you know what? This is some of the stuff that I was, I think, thinking we might have available when I was evaluating my oil. I just made some tweaks to that, but, like, I really thought there was routes through into olefins, and this is probably what I was thinking I had that I don't have yet, was turning the stripped distillates into olefins. Right now, I think I rebuilt that to turn stripped distillates right into gasoline, right? Is that what I did? Yes. But I was probably thinking about some of this stuff. And then heavy oil processing. Not sure about yet. But if we want to make... Fuel production stage 2. Okay. So this gives us diesel from methanol, which I'm not sure I care about. A couple of olefins recipes. Maybe we want to grab this sooner than later. Let's see what that looks like. If we do gasoline from olefins, we're gonna make gasoline. Yeah, and of course the anthracene one is like the cheapest one. But this one. And then we're going to do the light oil also from olefins. This feels expensive. I bet we can do better than this. Yeah, I don't love this route. So yeah, that's the question. What are we looking at that we want to unblock our olefins production and have them do something useful? I mean, there's this, if I felt like a lot of bone meal. This side needs light oil, and I don't have easy access to light oil in any of my existing processing. I pretty much process it down in place, which maybe is a problem. I mean, there's just this, right? Olefins straight to diesel. That's a much better ratio than the gasoline route. Yeah, and that's this fuel production 2 recipe again. Yep, maybe this is the one we need. Alright. No, fuel production 2 is queued up, but we, oh, science just stopped. Because we are out of blue. Yeah, we do not have a stack of blues. Only one of these machines is running. We're out of red chips. No surprises there. All right. And complex circuit boards. What? We have no tin again. How do I keep running out of tin? Wait. Excuse me. This never pushes tin to rails? Is this pump just backwards? Well, that would do it. That would definitely do it. Because, yeah, all the rest of this seems like it's running. Yeah, and this is filling up pretty fast, so we will get a train load of tin over to where it needs to be before too long. Cool. So yeah, that's just been broken for a while. Probably since the last time tin was broken and I did a bunch of manual stuff with it. My depots are full, which is because everything is backed up because everything's broken. I'm assuming liquid fuels are still... Yeah, not great. We have a little bit of diesel, but everything is out of its liquid fuels. Okay. Crude oil processing will help a little bit. The changes we made here, but that still needs the titanium tetrachloride to... Okay. Why is there no train ready to take this up here? Did I not do the request? There is a request. Oh, it's already been delivered. It just... Oh. I'm just an idiot. It's fine. Backwards belt. There we go. This whole thing will start to turn itself on again. This tank will have to fill up quite a bit before the whole system is starting to overflow gasoline, but that's okay. What else does this thing make and spit out? Petroleum gas, which we have various demand for. Coke oven gas, which we're currently voiding to, I don't remember. Tailings, BTX, which goes to benzene, naphtha, and heavy oil. All right. And all of these should be able to start to reaccumulate now that this system is going to be running consistently again. This whole thing only processes 90 crude oil a second, so we definitely do have the opportunity to expand all of this processing if we so desire. I think I saw that, like, heavy oil processing... No. Cumene to phenol. Feel like it's probably something we're going to move to eventually. I don't know. My whole approach with the petrochemical stuff has been deciding or realizing that I need a new output and then figuring out how to reroute and rebalance all of my petrochemical stuff just to get that specific output. Like, I'm not really looking at any of it holistically, and like, I don't know if I should be trying to better optimize some of the outputs we can get, like, you know, this condensates to refined natural gas to condensates loop is probably not the most efficient thing. It does suck up a bunch of gasoline. Like, maybe I have better uses for condensates and or refined natural gas than, like, effectively I'm down converting them to naphtha and tailings, right? Unlike, yes, those are useful products, but this is probably not the most useful loop. Yeah, and there we go. Gasoline is filled up, so this should actually be starting to push some over here now. Slowly but surely. Actually, wow, there's already 3,000 of it. Yeah, I mean, let's look at some of our options here. So, refined natural gas and hot molten salt to formaldehyde. Interesting choice. This is the one that we're using. Yeah, this is what we're using right now. This is the, like, void loop from condensates to refined nat gas. Maybe it's the other side I need to be looking at. No. Okay. The only thing to do with condensates ever is gonna be refined natural gas. So it's finding better uses for the refined natural gas. That's really the thing to be thinking about. Purified natural gas can be turned into rich gas and pure natural gas. Pure natural gas is only needed for cadaveric arums. It has some fuel value, but it's not great. Rich gas helium processing. Okay, so eventually we're going to need all of this. We're going to need the rich gas for helium, but until then, I don't think purified natural gas is useful to me. So, like, maybe this is the better use for refined natural gas than what we're doing right now. I don't know. Naphtha currently... I don't have an overflow for naphtha. So wherever naphtha gets used, there's no void for it apparently. Or if I do have a void, I don't have it set up on this build, which is also always an option. I think my BTX right now is pretty much just going to benzene. Here, let's look at both of those. Naphtha. I do have a naphtha void. We're just not using it up here at crude processing. Okay. The naphtha void voids it to tall oil. All right, and then tall oil is just a fuel that we have. Fine. Other places we request naphtha. We use it for rare earths? Is that just the mining fluid for rare earths? Apparently. Okay. Sure, that's fine. And... oh, this is mining for something. Tar extractor, okay. But no, the naphtha is not for the tar extractor. I think these are unrelated things that I shared a station on. Oh, this is part of bitumen processing. All right, yeah. We're pulling in naphtha from crude oil so that we can process the bitumen froth into bitumen and tailings. Okay, that's fine. And then... are there better uses of naphtha than just to tall oil as far as getting fuel value out of it, or other useful petroleum byproducts? There's this one to diesel. So that's like 500 and something. 525 megajoules from 100 naphtha and a bunch of aromatics. Or 100 megajoules. Oh, wow. But this uses a ton of aromatics. I think this is the one we're doing right now as our naphtha void. We're doing this as part of bitumen processing, syngas, rare earths, nuclear stuff. Break it right down into hydrogen is an option. So I think the only one we'd really think about is maybe if this is worth it, but only if there's like something we want to do with syngas, right? To turn it into, I mean... olefins and light oil, maybe... And then our other thing, BTX, which we do have a void, which voids BTX to methane. Interesting. Not to benzene. And there's a reason that I did that. And that reason is that benzene is a fuel, and what I was finding was that BTX was causing... if benzene was my, like, overflow BTX void, it would back things up when there wasn't enough liquid fuel demand. Not that that's a problem right now. But we do have a couple of these stations that are not... No, these are all the producers are set up to void. All right, that's fine. So we should have a BTX to benzene station around somewhere. Yeah, here. And this is turned off because it has no BTX. And what's this other station that pulls in BTX? Ethylene. Okay. And that apparently is fully saturated right now. So... but yeah, we have very little BTX in the system, which I guess is not surprising. given that we know that oil processing was stalled. But, like, this should catch up and, it'll get delivered somewhere. But yeah, if BTX to benzene is currently really sad, and it seems like BTX to benzene might currently be really sad, my concern is also that, like, benzene is sad in general. And we need that for things that are not just as a fuel. No. Well, not quite. Oh, we just have some still, but we're not making very much. And then we have this benzene here, which is a side effect of... What is this? Tailings? This says void tailings to benzene. But this input is on the A network, not on the B network. Or V network, rather. Don't I have other tailings voids? What is... What is happening? Alright, well, that's... It is marked as low priority, and I guess the other main tailings thing isn't really a void, it's more like tailings processing. So I think we're okay. We'll always try to run our tailings through this system, and then only if there's extras it just gets turned into benzene, and that's fine. Tin should have made a bunch of molten tin by now. Did we maybe even get a delivery up here? No. Oh, a bunch of tin plate got pulled. And of course, that's slowing down the buffering. Alright. I have completely lost track of what I was trying to do. I guess I've been trying to think about, like, all my petroleum processing and figure out where, if anywhere, like, we're leaving money on the table fuel value-wise. Like, what are we trying to potentially improve our processing of? Like here, this is taking in gasoline to do something with high distillates. Do we have better uses for high distillates? And we might not yet, but... So this is the one we're doing now, to naphtha and condensed distillates. And pretty much that's it. That's all we're ever going to have. Okay, so this one has to run as is. The condensed distillates are currently this recipe. And this is about as good as it gets. You know, as tempting as it is to break all my hydrocarbons all the way down into hydrogen and carbon and rebuild them from scratch. I don't know if the game... I don't know if we have all the recipes for that, and I don't think it would be very efficient. Yeah, residual mixture to coking gas oil to coke. I guess we can double check that that's still the best we can do with that as well. Because we get residual mixture from lots of steps of this process. Yeah, not a lot of choices there. The option is to the coking gas oil or to residual oil. Coking gas oil to coke is the only option. If we go through residual oil instead, I mean, all we do is turn that into more residual mixture. So that's not useful. I mean, honestly, I think just unblocking this so that this whole system is capable of running a little more consistently was already a big help. I should look at my other, like, petroleum processing and make sure that things are running. And, like, it does seem like tar processing is running, right? Gasoline is running. We could switch to the anthracene recipe that uses hydrogen, couldn't we? I think right now we're using the recipe that makes more coke, but there's a recipe that... Efficiency modules in glassworks or smelters. Yeah, that's a good shout, actually. Getting efficiency modules around. But, like, yeah, switching from this recipe to this recipe would probably be a good plan as well. 25% more gasoline. Not as much coke. But, like... we have so much coke. We have so much coke. Well, then again, this is not running. So... maybe we don't? Oh, there it goes. Because, like, yes, we do get a little bit of tar back looping the coke, but it's not a huge amount. And if we need more coke, like, we can expand Red Hot Coke. So I think switching to the ionic upgraders on my tar processing builds would be a good change. And then yeah, efficiency modules is a good shout. I'm not sure if... apparently here I'm also using non-electric furnaces again. I should switch everything over to electric furnaces. Here as well as at Glassworks, right? Like, I moved away from electric furnaces when the power grid was under super strain, but honestly, these days... Or not electric furnaces, electric boilers. But I think a lot of it is just that, like, we have more uses for a lot of these ingredients now, right? Like, I set up the new anthraquinone build, and that's using more aromatics and more hydrogen, and those are things that would previously... Or sorry, the anthraquinone build, not this one. I needed petroleum gas for something. I made this petroleum gas build specifically. I thought it was anthraquinone, but no. What uses petroleum gas? I don't remember. But something we built recently used a lot of petroleum gas, so that got built. Efficiency beacons can affect electric boilers, and it's hilarious. It can even be power positive late game. Oh, jeez. That's funny. For now, just trying to unblock my liquid fuel demand. We're gonna switch back to some electric boilers in a few places. What is this? This is the flue gas out. We don't need that. Okay. That's these ones. So this should just use less gasoline now and produce more gasoline. And then over at glassware, same thing. We'll just change glass to use electric boilers. Just try to reduce our overall liquid fuel demand in the short term. How much does one of these things make per second? 60 per second, and each of these makes 60 per second. All right, it's 1 to 1. How many did I pick up? 7. That looks like it's a flue gas output. Yes. Which means the other pipe that's here is the steam. Yes. 2. 1, 2. Yeah, oh well. They don't really quite line up. But there we go. So that'll help. Yeah, all of these could take efficiency modules, huh? That's probably worth doing, isn't it? Just... Well, I'm out. I'm down to 2 efficiency modules, and I need another 10. I could probably go make some more, though. Let me grab an automated factory from the mall. And I will... Actually, did I leave a factory down there? If I was smart, I left a factory down here, but that's... The answer appears to be no. I did not leave a factory down here. Okay. So yeah, we'll grab 1 automated factory, and then we'll head down to where we're doing mech parts 2, and I can make a few more efficiency modules and finish efficiency in glass. Oh, I picked up whatever my garbage here was. I just never deleted the tag. Cool. So, somewhere... Oh, I'm not far enough. I'm nowhere near far enough south yet. Come on, Brennan. All the way down to the bottom we go. Oh, BTX to benzene is running again. That's a good sign. Because benzene is one of the things I think that will burn as a fuel, right? Yes. So that will help. Doesn't really matter where I put this. Efficiency modules. All right, we need control panel, electronics, utility boxes. Cool. Control panel, electronics. And utility boxes are over here. And I think it's 2 electronics, 1 control panel, 1 utility box. Did I get that right? Yay! Okay. So that's going to start spitting out a few more efficiency modules for me. And what's going on with this? This is currently blocked on Rayon. Boy, oh boy. Why is Rayon stopped? Rayon is stopped because it needs carbonyl sulfate. Carbonyl sulfate is blocked because propene, which it does not appear to be requesting? What did I do here? This looks like it was we requested the wrong thing and I changed some stuff set up. Has this just been broken for a very long time? I'm not sure what I did. Like, I mean, this is fine. This happens when I mess up requests and we end up with extra materials in one place and I have to fix it. But I don't know why I would have removed the request entirely. Okay, so that'll fix carbonyl sulfate, which will fix rayon. I don't know how long that's been broken, but cool. Oh, that probably means batteries are also broken, right? Because aren't batteries using the rayon recipe? Yay! The answer is yes, batteries are also broken. Fortunately, we have a bunch of them. Simple circuits are blocked on solder, which... Why is tin stopped? It's not, it's running. Wow. Something that I changed unblocked something and really spiked tin demand. And I don't know what, which scares me. This all seems to be running fairly consistently now, which is cool. Alright. Yeah, Rayon will hopefully just unbork itself, and there's a bunch more efficiency modules. Let's go get these installed at glass before I forget. We'll do the rest of glass. And then, what am I trying to say? I've lost track of my thoughts. Oh, let's fix the tar processing as well. To use ionic upgraders and the hydrogen recipe instead of DDCs for anthracene to gasoline. And that'll give us just a little bit more gasoline. And if that does completely screw up our coke production, then we should increase our red hot coke processing instead of our instead of relying on it as a byproduct from everything else. So if we check tar processing A and B, which are identical, we will do gasoline. This one. So 10 ionic upgraders. The problem is that this now needs to bring in hydrogen, not void hydrogen. Oof. Do I do this build somewhere else? If we just remove it from the tar processing, then I can just drop 20 ionic upgraders somewhere, right? Instead of fully processing on site. Because we do, you know, spit out anthracene. And then, here, let's go down to where we actually are doing the tar processing. Because, yeah, right now, anthracene oil just overflows over to this. And we could kill that overflow and set this up with a... I mean, I guess it would be a void network, right? Because we do want anthracene as an actual product for anthraquinone. And then... maybe it's not worth it. Is it that much more gasoline, really? What does the FC say? The FC says 68.3 a second versus 80 a second. So it's 24 more a second if we do all this. I don't know if that's actually enough for it to matter in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, hopefully glass, now that everything is efficiency beaconed, like, it's going to take a while before glass gets its next... We're waiting for glass to get a fuel delivery, obviously, but the next delivery should last a lot longer, and that'll help the whole everything run more stably. I just don't have a clear picture in my mind right now of what our actual, like, demand for fuels is versus, like... I mean, obviously we're out. But how close to being balanced are we? Like, are we catching up? Are we not? And because the fuel stations are all dynamic, it's really hard to check in CyberSyn to see what they're actually requesting. Anywho, it is ad break o'clock again. It has been another hour. I do run just the one ad break each hour, just long enough to keep pre-rolls turned off, because I don't like pre-roll ads. When we come back from the ad, we'll, I don't know, I'll find something to work on. I might stop messing with this right now. I feel like it's still potentially a blocker, but I might poke something else for a little bit. But yeah, I recommend during the ad break, get some water, stretch your legs, take care of yourself as a human being. I'll see everybody in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around through the break. Alright, so ultimately, right now, I have very little sense of where we're at as far as fuel production. So like aromatics to diesel is not currently running, and that makes sense because we added some more aromatics demand recently, right? We added this petroleum gas build. This has had time to fully buffer though, like this is totally backed up. So does that mean that we're going to start getting more aromatics overflowing again? Yes. Because yeah, this is now set up to void. Cool. So that we should be sending aromatics to diesel again. And that's going to help with our fuel situation for sure. And then how's the other tar processing looking? I mean, it should be pretty similar. Yeah, I mean, not caught up to the point where it wants to void yet. Gasoline is really low, and it's interesting that gasoline is so low. Because, like, that means that it's the stuff that uses gasoline specifically, rather than things that are fuel, that are sucking down a lot. And that kind of surprises me. Like, where is this guy going? This station. Why does this use gasoline specifically? Oh, this is... Okay. That's fine. So yeah, this is just requesting gasoline for fuel, which is good that this is getting fuel. Oh, look, more boilers. Wait, is this pulling in gasoline just for boilers? We don't even use it on site? Was I that mad at electric boilers? I was. I was that mad at electric boilers. But yeah, that's definitely no longer the optimal choice. Alright, let's keep turning gasoline boilers into electric boilers. That's another easy fix. I think I found the only ones that were in storage. There's a lot of stone in storage. I should probably do something about this. Because it's a lot. Alright, was it at vanadium pentoxide that I saw we had? Yes. Yes, this right here. And we're gonna avoid some gasoline here, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. And then, yeah, there's other flue gas outputs on this system. I guess that's why I felt like I could set that up, because we already had flue gas out here. But yeah, these guys should run entirely off of electric now. That's fine. How has Glass gotten any fuel yet? Glass does have some fuel, alright. And with all the efficiency modules, we should be burning it much more slowly. So hopefully Glass does a little bit better now. But glass is going to be, yeah, in pretty rough shape. Anytime glass stalls for long periods of time, and it has been stalled for a long period of time. I think my fuels have been messed up for a while, and I just didn't realize it until recently. It always takes forever for glass to rebuild itself. So we'll let that slowly rebuild itself. Diesel... still not really running consistently, and I'm going to assume that's because our demand for aromatics in other places is still high enough. I mean, I could... maybe I should. Ooh, yeah, that's interesting. So I have these set up as potential fuel, the petroleum gas, which is byproducts, and of course as a high priority source. But I don't have this petroleum gas set up as fuel. So I think what's happening is that our demand for petroleum gas as an actual input is pulling from all the byproduct stations, because those are the high priority ones. And then this one that I made explicitly is just sitting here. So I think I have to mark this one as a fuel. And then, obviously, when the system sees that there's petroleum gas and it pulls, it'll still pull from one of the other ones if they're marked higher priority. It won't necessarily pull from this one. I mean, I think this is probably also fine, right? Because this is... the fuel values of the things that we're putting in are very low, and the fuel value of the thing we're getting out is very high. So, like, just using this as a fuel is almost reasonable. Petroleum gas. And I know this blueprint is wrong. I want this threshold to be 50, not 25. Input. There. So that's going to start pulling more petroleum gas from places where we make it. Including this one. To be used as a fuel. And I should see... like the glass fuel stations. Yep, petroleum gas in, petroleum gas in. Cool. It does seem like our overall gasoline demand is still high. And BTX to benzene here is still slow, and that's obviously not available as a fuel if it's being used for other things. Is this running? This all appears to be running. Yeah, okay, but this pulls in gasoline. This doesn't produce it. It does produce other things. It produces petroleum gas, it produces coke oven gas, naphtha, which is just tall oil, right? Ultimately, my naphtha turns into tall oil, but that's all being used up. what else is going on with the base? How are we doing on, like, hydrogen peroxide? Output full. Wow, output full. Okay. So that's a good thing. We are making enough hydrogen peroxide. So one of the things that has been on my to-do list is... I think we can switch the antimony oxide back to the full version of the recipe that uses... where is it? Is it this one? Yeah. This part that uses lead acetate. And we'll do all of our processing using this chain now. I may have to increase lead acetate production. We make that. Is that up here somewhere? No. Do I know where lead acetate is? No, we're gonna search for it. Yeah, we might have to make this a bigger build, although it seems like this is backing up right now. Yeah, let's switch antimony over to lead acetate fully. I think we make enough peroxide now that we can do that switch, and antimony has been a bottleneck for us. Yeah. And is still a bottleneck for us. So... yeah, these guys can all take efficiency modules. That's probably worth doing. And anytime I touch any of these builds, and I don't have to do it all right now immediately, but in general, I want to be looking for... places I can put efficiency modules in place to try to just keep reducing our liquid fuel demand. I'm worried if I go too far, we're going to run into issues, because I'm sure my system relies on some of this stuff being burned for, like, things to work right. But... alright, I'm going to run over here, I'm going to grab our efficiency modules, because we should have a bunch of them made by now. And let's head into Yafsi, and let's go to our antimony. What we want to do is we want to stop doing any... oh, I think I already updated this in Yafsi, we just didn't do the change in game yet. Cool. Because it would have been the, like, antimony... yeah, the antimony grade 4, I think, that we were turning into antimony oxide before. And now we want to do it just off of the antimony pulp 2 and the concentrate. So yeah, we need 12 basic oxygen furnaces in total. I think we probably have those. If we check at the antimony build, we've got 2 up here, and we have how many down here? 15. Yeah, we have plenty. Yeah, and then I just need to figure out... yeah, so this is the antimony pulp 2. This is used for silicon. So we take an overflow valve off of that, I guess, for the other... yeah, we'll play with it. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I should be able to go right into these. And do the basic oxygen furnaces take... oh, these take prod modules. Okay. Do I have prod modules already marked in? I do. All right. Cool. Let's get that rebuilt then. All of this needs to go away. Yeah, all of this goes away. And let's see. We're running... This is gonna be a triple stacked belt, so that's 7.5 times 3 is 22.5. That is not actually enough fuel. Okay, so we're gonna have to change this. This can't just be one belt, it's gonna have to be two. Basically, it's gonna have to be these two belts, exactly as I did this here. Which I think just means that, like, all of this goes away. All of this goes away. Those don't stack anymore. And we just run these, like, right through as they are. And then we're going to have to bring up two belts here. All right, so the first of these are what? This is the antimony 58.3% concentrate, so we need 4 machines doing that. And each of them needs basically a blue inserter doing... Actually, one second. Does my YAFC know that I have inserter capacity? There we go. All right, so yeah, this can be done with 1 inserter per building for the coke and 1/3 of an inserter, which means it could even be a gray inserter per building for the plastic. But obviously the way our inputs are, they pretty much have to be these guys, and that's fine. So one of these will be coke all the way down. And one will be plastic. And then oxygen needs to be hooked up. Cool. So that's these guys. And then we need 8 of them that are taking the other... All right. You know what? We're going to take 3 of these. 3... 5, 7, 8. And these ones are going to be making it from the pulp. Which comes up to this. That is an overflow valve somewhere in here. All right. So that'll overflow into these guys. For some reason... Oh, there's plastic. And how much antimony do we make in total? 4.5. How much ash do we make in total? A lot. Okay. Oh, but we're stacking. We have stack inserters for our ash output. Cool. We're still making 23.8 ash a second, which is more than half a belt. So let's just do one of these. That should balance the ash sufficiently. Let's see what we can do about our inventory here. Coke, plastic. Okay. So this is actually fewer total furnaces than we had before, which is good for fuel usage, I guess. And, you know, I guess I could route this right through. Antimony grade 4 needs to go into something. Is it these guys that take the... No, they take dust. Crushed. Grade 4, there it is. How's all this doing? These are all running... These have not all totally turned on yet. These have not all turned on yet. Six of those agitators. Yep, 5.79. And then 18 of these guys. Yes, all right. So we are running... the right number of all the machines here. I think we just have, you know, as always, there's stuff buffered in belts and pipes, right? And it takes a little while for everything to fully turn on. Oh yeah, I can see this, like half of this belt is still draining. So we just haven't even turned on this whole system yet. But This is going to be a lot more antimony at the cost of quite a bit of 0.58 lead acetate a second. And if we check our lead acetate build, we're making 0.6. All right, so this is enough lead acetate in theory. As long as we make enough acetic acid and hydrogen peroxide, this will keep up. It's actually slightly more than we need, but... Oop, everything is stopping. Why are we stopping? Oxygen... Oh, yeah, that's probably not hooked up right, huh? Let's fix that. There we go. Had some straggling random underground pipes in the oxygen. But that should fix that. Alright, science is probably still blocked on red chips. It is indeed blue science that is the problem. This guy is halted. Or this guy is wasting cartridges right now, which is unfortunate, because brains are not the cheapest thing in the whole wide world. But yeah, we're blocked on red chips. Let's figure out why we're blocked on red chips. Is it still solder? It was solder before, and it is still solder. Okay. Why is tin still broken? That's a question. We're just using all of our tin plate as tin plate. I mean, it does seem like we have had a couple of deliveries of molten tin. Did one of those come up to solder? Are we making solder again? Okay, we are at least making solder. Oh, just right now it's all going up to the mall. Oh, geez, has solder been broken for that long? Apparently the answer is yes. It's all coming up to the mall first. So that's cool. And then once it backs up on the mall, it'll start going to rails, and that's fine. But, like, where is all of our tin going is a question that I can ask myself. Tin chromium alloy. Apparently in high demand right now. Or was in high demand. And then, is this tinned cable? Yeah, tinned cable is always a thing. Tinned cable, do we get that at casting stage 2? We do, alright. So once we have casting 2, well, once we have this, we have a lot of things to upgrade, right? We'll replace our tinned cable build, we will upgrade small parts to use, cast bolts and sticks and gears and cables. So like small parts will start bringing in all molten stuff instead of solid, which is going to be super cool. Cast shafts would be nice, but I'm not sure, not quite sure what that's going to look like exactly yet. Because we need molten nexolite for cast shafts, and our nexolite processing is, we're a little bit behind. Looking at this earlier in the stream, like, the amount of sand that we need for nexolite processing, it's gonna take a little bit of effort to get that fully organized. Excuse me. I don't know if these are actually the most important techs I could be grabbing right now. Like, they're going to be useful, but... Coke Stage 3... Maybe. Raw Coal Stage 3... Oh, geez, I don't know what any of this is. Coal from coal pulp... This seems complex. Smelters, stage 2, yeah. Additives, oh my goodness. Ooh, aniline. Rocket fuel. Advanced electronics, fiberboard 2, maybe useful. Fiberglass, I know is going to be a necessary path to science. I mean, looking at Pi Science 3, which is like ultimately where we're going, I see gas bladders, which means we're going to need, I forget what they're called. These guys. I see... acrylic. I see neodymium magnets. I see some new Arcod byproducts. This is all new stuff. Except for mechanical parts 2, but mech parts 2 is not really automated at scale yet. So that's basically also new stuff. As far as getting mech parts 2, I think getting that to run faster is a matter of getting lots of other chains to run more quickly and more efficiently. So, like, that's all of these upgrades up here, right? You know, things like casting stage 2, but also, oh, I don't know, you know, metals upgrades, all of those sorts of things, right? Gas power stage 2. Oh, does this use refined natural gas at stage 2? Ooh, okay. That could be interesting. I don't know if it's worth it when we already have biomass, but, you know. Stage 2 vat brains, but that's a lot of brains that go into a stage 2 cartridge. That's not happening anytime soon. Substations, sure. All right, stop thinking ahead. My goals need to be figuring out how to get what we have now to run more stably and more consistently before we start thinking about the next one. I don't know if tin is actually still a problem or if it's just like doing that thing where it's in the process of catching up. Certainly right now, it seems like it's running very consistently. Why is Cermet stopped? That shouldn't be stalled. Lubricant. Why is lubricant stalled? It's not, it's just slow. Okay. That's going to be a problem. I mean, we do have desulfurization here. But I'm not convinced we actually have the aromatics for, I'm in the awkward stage where it can't keep up, but Tin 3 is right around the corner. Yeah. And I already upgraded tin to, No, this is just one belt of tin. Because this isn't a stacked belt. So we could push tin up to 2 input belts if we really wanted to. But yeah, it's really hard to tell if it's behind, or if just, like, a bunch of demand happened all at once because I unblocked one part of the base, and then, like, the floodgates opened and suddenly everything wants tin simultaneously. Because, like, we fixed some of our oil processing, so that means tin chromium alloy has a little bit higher demand, and, like, all of these things sort of happen together. But anyway, right now, that's the blocker for science, is solder. So, like, we gotta... And it does look like, I mean, this belt of solder into the mall is slowly backing up, and for... Maybe I should just change the priority so that we prioritize this before we prioritize the mall. Because the mall does have backup solder that comes from the old base. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna break something, but we do have, like I said, yeah, the caravan-based solder. I have my one and only caravan that's still doing anything. Brings solder to and from the electronics build up to here. So that will, I think we can afford to prioritize the mall over everything else. Potentially, we need more casting machines. Yeah, neither of these things can take prod, so whatever. But yeah, maybe one more casting machine, or even add another oxygen furnace and 2 more casting machines. Because that would give us quite a bit more solder coming through. Although I don't think our solder, like, throughput production rate is actually too low. I think it's just that it's been broken for a long time. When do we get the next tin? tin processing 3 is gated behind, a bunch of stuff. Biofilm, heavy oil processing, excavation, drilling machines. Oh boy. Yeah, that is a lot before we get to this. So it might be worth thinking about doubling tin. I don't really want to, but we can. We can switch it to handle 2 belts of input. And this is probably why I had flipped this, because if I'm feeling lazy, slapping some stack inserters and speed mods, what could go wrong? Yeah, there you go. Oh, that sounds... I know I was just saying that power is not a problem anymore, but that sounds like a really good way to make power back into a problem. Oh, I forgot. I also need to drop 2 more automated factories down here. So that would be good. That would improve my silicon. Not that silicon is currently the blocker. Solder is currently the blocker. But getting, getting silicon running at more speed is always worthwhile. How's this doing? Yeah, it's getting there. All right, let's grab... Let's go grab another automated factory. Let's go fix that partial silicon upgrade that I did and then forgot about, apparently. Anything else in my inventory that I don't really need? I don't think so. I think everything in here is kind of normal requests. Just waiting for that other automated factory to be delivered. Oh, bots are moving around because I turned this back on. So they're having a grand old time delivering stuff over to this. Okay, we got the factory. Yeah, I mean, this can make a lot of solder from just a little bit of tin, right? So... And we are using the tar recipe, which is a little bit more tin efficient already. Cool. A little bit more. 6 of these guys, each of them making... a quarter of one each second. 8 seconds, 2 made. Yes, quarter. Prod. And then prod speed penalty. We're making just about 1 1/4 silicon wafers per second now. Or we're up to 1 a second. Oh. It looks like a bunch of the silicon is starting to hit its buffering limits. It is. Cool. Although, we will get deliveries of that silicon over to the places that use it, so it's not really... Why are you stopped? Disabled by control behavior. Oh, cool. Transistors are fully buffered. Great to see. MOSFETs? MOSFETs are running. Okay. Cool, cool. Alright, so I think our silicon processing is as good as it's going to get until we're deeper into Blue Science. And we unlock the new silicon processing stuff. Solder is going, but I imagine the demand for solder on rails right now is going to be bad. Yeah. So it's not just red chips that are going to request it. It's, well, also green chips, apparently. And whatever small parts and solder make. Eh? Shouldn't that also be showing the request for iron nextlet antimony? Apparently not. Apparently because it's positive. Interesting. I don't know how it became positive. I must have dropped off some by hand or something. That's fine. Whatever. So yeah, that needs solder. And then red chips and whatever this is. This has got to be electronics. Yep. Ah, this is the one that requests the MOSFETs. Okay, they're on two different... Yeah. That makes sense. Ooh, hey, we got Rayon again. Cool. Rayon is unblocked, which means that carbonyl sulfide has been running fine. Yeah, that's running fine again. Good. Rayon over here. Stopped again. This time on sulfuric acid, which I guess shouldn't surprise me, because that has continued to be a problem for us. It's not like I've got anything new in terms of sulfuric acid, right? Like, whoa. Yeah, this sulfur is actually like... Didn't realize my sulfur was that high demand right now. Yeah, I mean, it's not awful, but there is certainly demand for it. And a lot of that demand has probably just been this thing running as fast as it can, because this will burn through, I mean, only a few sulfur a second, but still. Yeah, this uses a bunch of... Oh, this uses a bunch of sulfur. Yeah. Acid gas from refined syngas and sulfur. And I intentionally made this fairly large because I thought I had lots of sulfur sitting around. But apparently, that is not so much the case. So we might have to think about that. And also that means, like... Wait, we got 75,000 acid gas here. 0 trains with this stop. What's going on with sulfuric, then? Do I actually need to make... One, I think I can set this train limit to 3 instead of 2. But also, like, do I need more processing for acid gas to sulfuric acid? Am I actually, like, running out of processing capability? Is acid gas not the bottleneck? I mean, obviously there's not heaps of acid gas here, but there's quite a bit around, around the base. I mean, it's not like acid gas is backing up here, so we're not getting so much delivered that, like, this can't keep up. So it does seem like maybe that is not the issue as much as it is still an acid gas issue. We just have a lot right at this moment in time. What do we got? 16 of these at 12.5 per second. That's 200 sulfuric a second that we can theoretically make. Although, again, I don't think it's making that much of it. Yeah. Because, yeah, we're out of... Interesting. Okay, I see a fix I can make here. Let's head over to where we're doing that. It can only dispatch 2 trains at a time because of how CyberSyn works, and because it can only request up to 70,000, because that's the size of the tanks. I don't ever want things to be requesting more than the size of their tanks, just so CyberSyn will dispatch more trains. But the way we fix that is we do this. And then we double our request amount. And then we tell CyberSyn that it's allowed to dispatch large amounts of trains. There we go. So now CyberSyn should try more aggressively to get acid gas to this station. There are still only, like, a few places we can get it from, but... this should help CyberSyn get more trains here more often. Which will help with these machines running more consistently. Because I bet if we check production stats... Yeah, look at that. You can see it's kind of doing this thing. And that's because we don't have... that's where we've had acid gas shortages. So some of that obviously is just... you know, we only make so much acid gas. But it is also nice to make sure that when we are making it, it's making it down here in a timely manner. All right. Twitch says that it is time for an ad break again, so I'm going to let Twitch run its ad. I'm going to get myself a little bit more water. I recommend everyone else do the same. Hydrate, stretch your legs, and when we come back, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been stalling on all the fixes I need to make, so we'll see what I decide feels like a good plan. I'll see everyone shortly. Oof. Alright, I'm sorry. I hate to end the stream right after an ad break, but I am not feeling well. There's a reason that I was away from my computer for longer than just the ad break time. So I'm going to wrap up here. And next time we'll figure out what we actually need to fix. We fixed antimony. We do probably need to look into liquid fuels further. We do still need more brains. We do need to figure out, I think, a usage for olefins. Oh no, I put that at the bottom of the list, didn't I? Here. Let's delete that. Let's make a new one at the top of the list. Use for olefins. They're backing up. All right, we'll look into that stuff. That will be next week. I'm not streaming... Well, certainly not streaming Factorio this Thursday. I have to go out of town to help out my mother with some things. So I'm going to be out of town Thursday and Friday, so no streams then. If I can manage to stream from my laptop at her house, I will do it, but there's no promises that I can make that happen. Yeah, thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in. I apologize again for cutting it short, but I'm really not feeling good. So we'll be back, and I'll see everybody next time.